call myself an international business matchmaker. So it's great to be able to travel around the world and understand where there's demand for products and services, and then just be like, yes, we have this amazing Victorian company that can do this. So for me, it's all about the connections and the relationships. Some of the challenges we see with Victorian businesses, they may be exporting to China, and then they're thinking, oh, well, I'm just going, not too far. I'm going to export to Japan, but there's so many differences in terms of those markets, and we always try to tell companies to spend a lot of time in that market, understand what your consumer wants, understand how they behave. Me and Ilva were talking about an example the other day with the company. It was a confectionery company, and they were going into China, did all the labelling in Chinese, and then they get there and the Chinese consumer's like, no, this feels fake, we want it in English, and we just want to put the sticker over it. And then going into the Middle East, then they're like, what do you mean you haven't put the labels in Arabic? That's really disrespectful. You need to change it. So I think it's so important to spend time in the market that you're in, and just kind of understand what makes them tick. I design handbags very similarly, as a hobby though, and similarly was mortified when I went to the factory to get my first order, and had noticed that they'd changed the toggle. It was they'd made it round instead of triangular, and I was like, oh, that's very strange. Why did they do that? And it was because they had copied the design and just changed one little thing. So sometimes it could be a very small change in the design, which then means it's not an exact copy. And then when I had sought legal advice on that case, they were like, oh, well, if they manufacture it in Turkey and then they're exporting it to China, well, then it doesn't matter, because even if you have an agreement with them there, it's for shipping back to here. So you have to understand all your export markets and then understand the regulatory environment across all of that. When we talk to companies, they've made a decision, they've done the research, they're saying, yep, now I'm going to go into India, China, wherever it may be. Where do you start? Like, you look at China, it's like 50 countries in one. Like, every city has its own challenges. So you can make the decision, you've done the work, but it's then I've arrived, I don't know what to do. So if I could give a unashamed plug to VicGov. So we operate 20 offices around the world, which Ilva heads up. We have trade and investment staff there. Our first office was in the UK back in
1868.
1868. A big concentration in Asia, across the US, the Middle East. We have an amazing network of people. We don't charge. So you can come and talk to us and say, I've got this idea, what do you think? Do you think this would work? And we'd be like, oh, have you thought about X, Y, or Z? Or if you want to go in, we'll build a program for you. We'll send our staff to come to the meetings with you. And often in markets like Asia, having a government representative not only gives you that extra kind of badge of honour, but you're able to get the meeting at the right level. And that's what our team does. And we love doing it. We have amazing resources. And I think, if you are going in for the first time, use our services. There's no question too big or too small. And we actually really get a kick out of it. So I think with our assistance, you can sometimes just help navigate, who do I go to? Have you ever worked with these guys? You've got people on the ground. Can you just do some, fact-finding about this organisation? And then, obviously, we work with different chambers there as well. So I think it's, you've landed there, but what's the first door that you open? And I think if you knock on our door, we're always willing to give you a cup of tea as well.